I'm ready to go.
We don't have any of those this time.
The first time I was using this whiteboard either. If I wave that fly right now, it's going to send sand everywhere. Ow. You're not meant to laugh at me.
Do you need a kiss before we get started?
I don't need one, but I'd like one. Need one more.
What's up, deviants? Welcome back to the Naughty Corner. We are on the unceded territory of the Wanneroo people, and this is Quarters in Session, a Reddit Reads podcast where game recognizes game. We judge assholes because we know we've been one. We offer advice on shitty situations because we know we've been there. And we give our Aussie cultural takes because you wouldn't know what the fuck we were talking about if we didn't. I've got co-host Ben tonight.
Hi.
What is that?
It's the flag from Community.
Okay.
E pluribus anus.
I thought it was like an asterisk, like there's added information that we need to provide, or then I thought it was like that chaos symbol that's just the arrows going in 8 different directions.
No, it is the symbol for arseholes, because E pluribus anus. The arrows are more going in rather than out.
We are going to get started with some This DNA Ends Here. Our This DNA Ends Here segment is all about people who it's highly encouraged they don't procreate. Unfortunately, there are too many cases in which they already have.
Yes, too many Chuds and Allens.
The first one, am I the asshole for not telling my wife I had a vasectomy?
Yes.
I've been married to my wife for 2 years now, and she's always wanted to have a child with me. She mentions it often. I've even been trying to have one with her. The problem is that I've had a vasectomy and she doesn't know.
Bro, you're not trying to have a child. You're making the appearance of trying to have a child.
My ex-wife came over and dropped off our 3 kids, 9, 5, and 4, and she's pregnant by her now husband. Well, her and my wife were talking about her new baby and if she knew the gender. Now my ex knows that I've been fixed as I did so after our youngest was born. Well, my wife says, I can't wait to be pregnant. We've been trying to have a baby with no luck, but it will happen when God allows it. My ex just smiled and then she looked at me and I knew what she was thinking with the look she gave me. Later, she texted me and told me I needed to tell my wife the truth and that she had baby fever and it was cruel to give her false hopes and pretty much called me an asshole. So, am I the asshole? I know it's a little dishonest, but it would break my wife's heart to know the truth.
Yeah, you're the asshole. You're lying to your wife for one. And don't say we've been trying. You haven't been trying shit. You've been enjoying the excuse to have more sex.
You've been enjoying just raw dogging.
Which, not going to fault you for enjoying raw dogging. Going to fault you for lying to your wife to do it. Because that is not okay. And that DNA here.
He tried. Unfortunately, he made 3 before he did that. Like, if he got the vasectomy before the 3 kids.
Plus, you got the vasectomy, I'm assuming because you didn't want number 4. So you're also lying to your wife about wanting to have more kids.
Yeah, and then there's the whole, if you clearly never wanted any more kids, you're actively lying to her when she talks about wanting them and you're just not fucking saying anything. Like, in what world is this going to end well?
It's definitely not going to end well at all. Yeah, this is fucked. This is a terrible person in every regard. I hope that his wife starts telling him that, sorry, not his wife, his ex-wife starts telling him that if you don't tell your wife about this, I don't know how well I can trust you not to be lying to everyone around you, and I don't really want my kids being around that.
Key comment, OP, you're the asshole. This is exactly why. So what, every month your wife tracks her ovulation, you two have sex multiple times during a fertile window, and then you comfort her with maybe next month when she gets her period. With every passing month she doesn't get pregnant, you keep her hopes and dreams alive with lies. What type of selfish asshole are you? What are you going to do when after a year of trying she goes to a specialist to see why she hasn't conceived? Refuse to go with her? Tell her the truth and let her choose the life and partner she wants. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone else, but she deserves to make an informed decision.
Oh no. That girl is going to leave his ass the moment he tells her, and he knows it, which is why he's not telling her.
Another comment, he'll probably insist it must be her since he has 3 bio kids already. Another comment, it's definitely what he's been doing. OP is the shittiest person I've seen on this subreddit in a while, and that's saying something. Another comment. You're the asshole. Desire to have kids should be discussed before marriage. Why is this so hard for some people to grasp? Either this never came up because you and your wife somehow never talked about kids or birth control before getting married, or one of those subjects did come up and you withheld the truth from your wife for some reason. Now you are selfishly leading your wife on in order to preserve your relationship / save face. You are in way too deep already, but every day longer you wait, you will only sink deeper.
Did it say they were actively trying?
Ha! Yes!
Yeah, it did say they were actively trying, yeah?
Yes.
So the only way you even have a chance of salvaging everything going forward, a vasectomy is a reversible procedure, which is why it should be the way that any kind of permanent contraceptive... What?
He should absolutely not fucking do that, if that's where you're going with this.
Can I finish first?
You're the one that stopped. I didn't interrupt you.
I'm sorry, you interrupted me with a look.
I can't control my face.
What you do is you book in to get the reversal.
Keep lying.
No, you don't keep lying.
No.
You inform your wife, hey, this is something that has happened in the past. I am actively trying to rectify it. And you apologize your ass off for lying to her. But you understand if she leaves you. Like, the only way that any chance of this going forward is going to be salvageable is apologizing for the lying, stopping the lying, and if you are wanting to have kids, to make it a situation that can happen. If not, there is an irreconcilable difference here, and your wife should leave. Actually, either way, your wife should leave. But if you don't want kids, then tell her to just fucking leave.
The relationship is doomed to fail. You've literally set yourself up for that by building the entire relationship on a fundamental lie. The life that she had planned with you is physically not possible because of your choices. That now means that the only way for her to get the life that she wants is to be honest and let her go, because that's the only way. Like, if you love her, then you will not waste any more of her fucking time continuing to do this because you selfishly want to stay with her. If that's the case, you don't give a fuck about her. You just want what you want and nothing else matters. But
you're a shit cunt.
Definitely, like he said, he didn't want any more kids. Don't have any more fucking kids. Never have kids for any other reason other than you cannot imagine not having them. Like, if you're on the fence, it's a no. Anything other than screaming from the rooftops, it's got to be a yes, is a no. If you're questioning it, it's a fucking no.
If your wife has convinced you that it's a yes, it's a no.
Again, if it is not something that you cannot possibly imagine living your life not having experienced, don't fucking do it. Yeah, he should not be getting a vasectomy reversal in an attempt to have more kids just for the sake of keeping his wife. That's not going to go down well.
Okay.
Further comments. You're the asshole. Desire to have kids should be discussed before marriage. Why is this so hard for people to grasp?
Yes, also, he discussed it beforehand. He just decided to not.
Yeah, they've discussed it multiple times, and he's just literally omitted it every single time. He has stated he withheld information in hopes she would be happy playing stepmom and grow out of wanting her own children. This is almost the opposite of getting pregnant to trap a man. Holy cow.
Same energy, but different ends off.
I don't know about that, but I see where they were going with it.
Yeah.
OP's comments. I never told her that I wanted more children. That's not how that works.
You just didn't tell her you didn't.
I was happy with the ones I have. I never lied and said I didn't have a vasectomy. If someone is having conversations with you that obviously imply and presume that you haven't had a vasectomy, they shouldn't have to ask, have you had a vasectomy? Can I confirm you haven't done anything to prevent yourself from having kids before I plan a life with you where we intend on having kids? Like, that's it. I just kept it to myself, hoping she would change her mind. I figured if we tried for a year, that she would just think it wasn't going to happen and we could continue to live our lives as normal. We are perfect together. No, you're not. No need to add a child into the mix when I already have several. Now my ex is going to tell her, and it's going to make me look like I'm a horrible person.
You are.
An evil person. You are. I love my wife dearly. No, you don't.
You're a cunt.
I just don't want any more children, and I don't want her to leave me. Tough fucking shit. You're not keeping her. We've been together since my youngest was 3 months old, so Why the fuck did you have the opportunity to be out there dating when you had a 3-month-old child at home? That is barely out of the newborn phase. You should have been fucking working, mate. There were nappies to change. Even if you weren't with your wife anymore, there is still postpartum recovery to support when you are a fucking new father. You had shit to be doing. How did you even find someone to marry when you had a 3-month-old at home? Shit cunt on multiple fucking fronts. Sounds like you're a fucking shit father in the first place. I don't know why the fuck you'd even... Why would you be wanting to have a kid with someone? Like, I want to get married and have a child with you because you're such a great dad that you're here wanting to build a life with me when you've got a 3-month-old fucking child at your ex-wife's house. I can't.
I don't know. I don't have any ex-wives.
So there was no need to hurry to have another child as I already had a baby. But now that she is 4 and my ex is expecting, it's made my wife want a baby. I believe my ex is going to tell her the truth. She told me that if I didn't come clean, she was going to call her and tell her that I was fixed over 4 years ago and give her the name of the doctor who did the procedure. She's overstepped some boundaries. She's going to ruin my marriage and my life. No, cunt, you did that.
I love that I believe she's going to. You don't need to believe. She's outright telling you she's going to. Stop being a shit cunt. Just pack your shit up.
I mean, fuck, if you can go out there and find someone who's willing to date you when you have a 3-month-old child,
Go into car sales.
I'm guarantee you could probably go and find another one that you don't have to lie to about wanting more kids. Or maybe, and I'm just guessing here, you might be able to go and find someone your own age who's already over the raising kids stage, maybe? Though that is all just an assumption because I have no idea how old these people are.
Oh, that is definitely a much younger second wife. I'd put money on the fact that that's a much younger second wife. Bare minimum 5-year age gap. Like,
Yeah,
I want to...
No age is mentioned.
I want to say, like, 25 and 19 when they got together.
So by the look of it, this is the only post OP ever posted, but their account is still up.
Hey, cunt, how old are you?
The username, Party Yogurt Closet.
Okay, Bukkar Closet. What it sounds like in my head. What else is party yogurt?
Yes,
Toads.
no other posts that could give us any sort of hint of how old he was or how old his wife was at all.
Look, in that case, I'm going to say she was 17.
Ew.
I know, but
So
fuck
they
this
got
guy.
married 2 years ago, and the kid is 4. They dated when she was 3 months old, sold for X.
No, I mean when they got together, not currently. So I'm going to say she was 17 when they got together. They're 21 now, and the guy's like 33. Fuck this guy. Went to pick her up for their first date, met her parents. It was a guy he worked with.
This next one has been deleted, which tells you just how badly this DNA should be wiped from the internet. My 36 male boyfriend told me men and women can't be friends. Now he has a new female friend, 24F. How can I trust him? So for starters, Braz is already a predator because no 36 and 24-year-old has anything in common. Unless they're both like widowed and shit and ended up in the same support group or something. And even then, it's not good to have like friendships with people you're in those kind of groups with.
I don't know. We weren't far off of that age difference between me and Dylan. He was only like 18 when we started playing D&D.
Yeah, I feel like that's different in like a group setting where you're
Okay.
participating in like the same activity. Like, it'd be sound like
I brought him into that as a person I met through work.
Yeah.
We also haven't been told yet that they're hanging out outside of a group setting. It's just a friend for her that he's met through work.
Again, outside of specific activities. Interest-based activities. Like, you can have 80-year-old friends if you're super into Lego.
But also, I was thinking about this the other day. It's not an acceptable age gap if one of those people is under 30. After you turn 30, people stop caring about age.
So,
Sorry,
like,
when the youngest person is over 30.
But we're also talking, like, we're presuming some sort of romantic entanglement here when we come to age gaps. Like, if we are talking about genuine friendships, then, yeah, age really doesn't matter. Like, we've seen the old folks' home for 4-year-olds. Like, I think we need more intergenerational mingling when it comes to friendships and things. We've all got so much to learn from each other.
Yep. For the record, I'm not talking about any romantic age gap either.
Yeah, I'm
Though,
talking about for this story specifically. I'm assuming some sort of romantic entanglement.
but also, I stand by that statement with romantic entanglements as well. After somebody has turned 30 and they're the younger person in the situation, nobody really cares about age gaps.
No.
It's just under 30, everyone assumes that you're some level of naive and innocent.
Yeah, there's a presumed power imbalance because of the difference in life experience.
Whereas there is also a rather large difference in life experiences between somebody that's 30 and somebody that's 60.
That depends.
That also depends between somebody that's 36 and somebody that's 24, though.
No, there isn't. Surely because of what it takes to develop financial stability.
Okay.
Like, if you're financially stable by 30, then your experiences could very easily parallel the life of someone who's 60. Whereas at 24, unless you have, a significantly higher socioeconomic status than your average 24-year-old, you're still having to essentially establish yourself. So things like workplace experiences and travel and all of those things that do actually stretch your muscles when it comes to developing life experiences and what it means to navigate the world in a way where you can't get taken advantage of. Like, they haven't had the opportunity to happen yet. Whereas that basically the financial stability of being able to navigate the world with a high level of autonomy, it kind of plateaus from there.
Okay. This is an on average situation then, because there are plenty of people under that age that have managed to experience a lot of the world, and not even because they've had shit that's made them do it. I know a lot of people that I met while I was traveling, like when I was living in Coffs, that were rather young people that were, and by rather young, I mean like late teens, early 20s, that were there just because they had earned the money themselves and decided, hey, I want to go out and I want to experience the world. And they were completely cut off from their family. Well, not completely cut off, but like they were in a situation where their family couldn't help them, but they were still, I want to make it around and I want to do this myself.
Yeah, but I'm talking like by the time, again, you're into those 30s era and whatnot. It's not an either or situation in the way it pretty much always is in like your late teens and through your 20s. So it's like, yeah, they may have been well traveled, but if they've left school, started working for the sake of earning money to then start traveling, or they're working through their travel the same way you did, then they've never really developed any sort of sense of like workplace politics and shit. So it's like all of those different facets of what it is to be an adult. Like, you more than likely haven't had any sort of like long-term rental where you've had to manage like tenancy agreements and shit, or had any sort of mortgage or any of those like big ticket, like dealing with insurances and loan repayments and shit. Like, once you've developed an understanding of all of those different kinds of things, that's the sort of life experience I'm talking about. So in your younger age brackets, it's you may have developed a decent amount of experience in one area, but it's a 1 in a million type situation if you've had the breadth of experience across many or all of those things.
Okay. There's also the other side of it being that some people don't want to have to deal with your mortgages and things of that nature. So they are perpetual renters, and fair cop if that's what you want to do. It's difficult to do in the long run, but hey, it does give you that level of freedom where you don't have to be settled down in one place perpetually. I do remember in Adam Ruins Everything, there was an episode that did discuss how being a renter is very good for people that have FIFO jobs, because that way they never have to worry about, hey, I'm permanently now over here. I can just cancel my lease, or I can pay whatever it costs to break it. Or if you were somebody that works remotely, you don't have to stay in the one place to be able to do it. So you could just pack up your stuff and be able to move elsewhere. Also, some of the people that I lived with, they'd run businesses before they'd come over and done the cops thing, because one of the women I lived with was 26. She had run a personal training program, and not like a MLM kind of personal training thing, but she had done the full physiotherapy and learned how to be a professional personal
Exercise
trainer.
physiologist.
Possibly she did put herself down as personal trainer rather than anything else.
Yeah, but if you're talking like there's a physio aspect to it,
Yeah.
it's what Monty Mater does. Like she's an exercise physiologist. So
Yeah.
it's not just I want to grow this area of muscle or whatever
Yep.
when it comes to like your health and fitness type stuff. Exercise physiology is specifically what is the structure of your body doing when it's doing these different things, and how do we strengthen these specific areas to improve mobility and to, reduce risk of injury and things like that. So it's far more medical basis to it, as opposed to generic health and fitness by ways of aerobic versus anaerobic exercise and whatnot.
And we also had another guy that he'd been doing floor laying for 5 years. He was 24 when he came over. He'd basically done it from when he finished school to when he came over. He also did it while he was over because I got him a job because one of the guys that I worked for was doing up his house. And it's like, hey, anyone that can fix the floor? I'm like, I know just the guy for you. But
Ben always knows a guy.
yeah.
And if he doesn't know a guy, he knows a guy that knows a guy.
His name's Guy. Sorry, I have to steal that from How I Met Your Mother every time. There is a different kind of lived experience that is still extremely valid, that is not the I own a house, I potentially have the 2.3 children and or pets, because hell, my sister is all about her fur babies. She gave herself a Mother's Day present this year from her fur baby, which that's a bit weird, but hey, I'm not here to judge too much. Well, not here to judge my sister too much. There is the potential for people that are younger to have a high level of lived experience in a way that is similar to what you're talking about, but not entirely in sync with it, and it should still be validated.
I disagree with you on the first point. Agree with you on the second.
Okay.
Because I'm not saying that any of, our late teens and our 20s experiences that develop that lived experience is any less valid. I'm saying that unless it is a very rare case, you do not have the capacity to get enough of it to protect yourself against those kind of vulnerabilities. There's always going to be major gaps. Like say you develop a high level of adult responsibility skill in managing a household and a family because you were a young parent. By definition, that means you are going to be developing less skills in navigating the world by ways of travel. You are going to be having less workplace opportunities that places you at a greater financial risk, When you're younger, unless you do have solid financial backers in some way, shape, or form, then it is going to be a give and a take. Being able to develop experience in one area, it's going to leave other areas lacking, just simply because it takes time to explore those different facets of life.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's definitely not any less valid. But if you're, pretty much that 25 and under cohort, I'm presuming a power imbalance because more than likely there is one.
Okay.
And that's really the key. It's like, it's not invalidating their life experience. It's acknowledging the potential risks. We haven't even started this.
No, we have not.
When my boyfriend, 36 male, and I, 36 female, started dating, he told me he doesn't believe men and women can be just friends. He was so jealous that he demanded I cut off a long-term male friend of mine, even though that friendship had been completely platonic for years. I gave it up to make him feel secure. We've been together for about a year and a half. He's an alcoholic who's relapsed multiple times, and I struggle with BPD. He's cheated on / helped another person cheat in past relationships, which already made trust hard for me.
Okay, so he's either being the cheater or the cheatee.
Yeah. Recently, he rejoined AA and became close to a new woman there. She's 24. Within just a couple of weeks of knowing her, he bought one of her hoodies, wore it to meetings, and started liking a ton of her posts, including selfies. He never likes posts of his male friends or other people in recovery, just hers. What really got me is how he immediately spent money on her. He only just recently bought something for me after a long time. Yet he quickly shelled out money without hesitation. When I bring it up, he insists there's nothing going on and that I'm being paranoid. But honestly, I find it deeply hypocritical. He made me give up a harmless male friend out of his jealousy. Yet he's out here forming a fast, emotionally charged bond with a woman, showering her with social media attention and support of her business. How can I trust him?
See, if he was just buying the merch, that'd be one thing. I've seen some merch from people that I've known over the years. It's sick. I would happily buy it. Being a creep and going through and liking all of the posts, yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that addiction in the brain, it is experienced neurologically exactly the same way, regardless of what the addiction is. So if there is something that is sparking that dopamine hit in the same way that he was getting from alcohol, then he's likely to fall into a similar pattern of behaviors regardless.
Especially considering association is a very big thing for addiction. So it's a lot easier to replace an addiction than it is to break an addiction. That's why one of the times my dad tried to quit smoking, and this happens for a lot of people. A lot of people go dumb because every time I want to have a smoke, I have a piece of chewing.
Because it's like an oral fixation type thing. Yeah.
Well, it's both, because I have a craving. I'm doing something else put in place of my current addiction. The oral fixation is because you're just used to having something going on with your mouth. So you're kind of doing both sides of it at the
You're
same time.
replacing the behavior.
Yep. You're replacing both the behavior and giving a response to the stimulus. My dad did it with Eclipse mints because his teeth were fucked. So he couldn't do chewy. So he's just like, hey, I'm going to eat mints. Best smelling breath you'll ever find.
Not anymore.
Didn't help with the teeth, though, because those things are almost pure sugar. Also didn't help with the diabetes.
Maybe that caused the diabetes.
No, that was caused by one of his cancer treatments. They were giving him glucose shots as part of one of the treatments. And because they were introducing so much extra sugar to his system, diabetes. It also didn't help that his preferred drink at the time was dark beer, which is very high sugar. But it also does help that he found out that tequila helps burn off sugars really fast. So every time he'd have a beer, shot of tequila with it. My dad, smart alcoholic. To swap the addiction, you need to have something that's connecting one to the other. I've heard of people that when they have a stimulus happen, they will just straight away do whatever it is they want to do. So I know people that have gone jogging instead of having a drink. I know people that have, as I said, gone with mints or chewing gum. The other side of it is, if you don't actively do a thing, you can have an addiction caused by doing something that's making me think of the thing that I'm trying to give up. And now I'm associating that, instead of with the drink, with her, because she's the thing I'm focusing on every time that somebody's bringing up the fact that I used to drink, because that is the part that makes AA hard for a lot of people, because you're hearing everyone talking about, hey, this is what I used to do when I drink. And it's just, hey, for the next hour, I'm going to be hearing about drinking. A lot of people don't want to hear about other people drinking while they're trying to recover. It's why you also don't see recovering alcoholics go to a bar, because, hey, everyone else here is drinking, it makes it harder. They're making all the synapses fire up when they're in a place where they're talking about the addiction we're trying to get rid of. And now there is a girl here that I am some level of interested in, and that synapses is still firing, so it's making the connection between the two.
Even if it isn't, it may not necessarily even be a romantic connection.
No,
it's like a it could be like a pheromone thing, where it's just there is an attraction here, and it actually has nothing to do with any sort of interaction you might have with the person itself, or finding them physically attractive or anything. It's literally something like biological. So
failing that, it could also just be that the stories they're telling are really interesting. If they're telling stories that are very interesting and you're still having that synapses fire up, they're the most interesting thing that's happening right now. That's what the connection is going to be to.
Yeah, it's just like that girl that Pavloved herself, whereas every time she was happy about something, she had like a dog clicker. And so whenever she felt sad, she clicked the button and it made herself happy again. It's exact same principle.
The thing she has to be concerned about is that now she's clicking it every time she's sad. So it could eventually have the opposite effect.
Well, that's why when it comes to operant conditioning like that, you do have to continuously reinforce it. So it's only going to keep working when she's sad if she's persistently continuing to do it for when she's happy as well.
Also, perfectly fine to try and condition yourself. Don't condition other people. That's fucking creepy.
I don't know. There was that one girl that did it where just all she did was offer him crispy M&Ms every time she saw him, because it was his favorite snack. So every single time he saw her, he got really happy for some reason. And that was just an accident, but still.
That is unintentional conditioning, though. If you're intentionally trying to condition somebody, go seek help. Psychological help, not help in conditioning other people.
Key comments. Girl. People who don't
two
want their
whites say girl like
partners
that.
to have opposite sex friends don't trust them because that's how they think. He's eyeing up girls all the time, so he assumes you're eyeing up guys or that they all just want to get into your pants. Giving a girl hoodies? Question mark? You should have run when he made you cut people out of your life. That's controlling, insecure bullshit. I hope you learned a lesson and will never ditch friends for a romantic partner again. He's cheated before and has addiction issues. The real question is, why do you believe you don't deserve better? Another comment. The other side of this coin is my girlfriend who had guy friends that eventually hit on her and she cheated on me with one of these he's just a friend guys. So if I don't trust opposite sex friends, that's why. Call it controlling, call it insecure. For me, it's a big red flag. No guy friends. Thanks. It's like, okay, but that's literally not the guy friends though. That was you having a shitty girlfriend.
Yeah. Look, most of the people that are in this guy's, the commenter's position, I know a lot of people that went through that mentality when they were in their early to mid 20s, and then they met somebody that made them not have that opinion anymore.
Yeah.
Because
it's like, oh, you're so cool and I don't want to fuck you. Huh.
No, it's quite the opposite. It's, hey, you actually make me feel really secure about our relationship. I no longer feel a need to want you to not be around guys.
That's how I felt with you. Next, we've had this conversation about previously, but I'm pretty sure you weren't on that episode. That was with Nate, where it's like, oh my God, she's always one of the guys. Aren't you worried about her trying to sleep with all the boys in the group? And it's like, she fucking should. They're amazing. Like,
she had slept with at least one of the guys in the group.
Good for her.
But yeah, I also feel the same way with you. But also, when we were first getting together, there was one of your friends that were rather obviously trying to hit on you.
And I was so autistic, I didn't even fucking notice.
Well, to be fair, you were also coming out of a extremely long-term relationship.
I was not paying attention to fucking shit. And then it was pointed out, I was like, ew.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm sorry, like, thought you were reaching back out to me after all of these years to check in on me with everything that was happening. And it was nice to actually chat to people that I hadn't spoken to in so many years. But no, if that's all that was, awesome.
I could understand if there was a guy in our social group that also was interested in all of the girls, because all of the girls in our social group are awesome too. Though every single one of them is in a relationship with one of our guys.
Well, I was also, I was having the same chat with Hugh on the way back from the comedy club at the last open mic. Hugh Rogers, check him out online. I should get him on the show. I can't remember what we were talking about. Oh, it was because James Connors, one of the owners, Newcastle Comedy Club, his girlfriend was at that open mic, and I very rarely get to see her. She's not out and about often. And I was talking to Hugh about how she was my guardian angel, because once upon a time, when I first joined, like, we all have this comedy group chat. I was invited into that, and I had one dude basically sexually proposition me in the chat. And it was like every single person came flying in and was like, absolutely fucking not. That's unacceptable, which is unheard of in comedy. I'm literally talking about the most basic bitch white dudes you've ever seen in your life, like every comedy club that you've ever seen. As soon as I was just randomly propositioned like that, they immediately shut it down and said that wasn't tolerated, which was amazing. And then in comes James' missus, and she's like, yeah, you're not sticking around anymore. And she booted him from the group. And I reminded Hugh of that, and he's like, oh my God, I remember feeling so bad about that. And you just like, what made it worse was that you just brushed it aside. Like, oh yeah, it happens a lot. Like, it's not a big deal. And that made me feel worse. And I'm like, I know, it's because I'm hot. And then he just started laughing again. He's like, oh, I remember that part too. Anyone would want to be hitting on any of the girls or any of the guys or any of the days in the group.
We hit on each other enough.
Fucking amazing people. Yeah. I was literally just about to raise that. And I've just noticed that the next comment on here was mine. Girls, because this is in response to the no guy friends thanks commenter. Girls can fuck their girlfriends too, mate. Your issue is not with the friends of any gender, but with your choice of partners. No friend will catch the romantic attention of a loyal person. And that's just it. I think OP should fuck his mum. If he's only worried about guy friends, he's got to realize there's a lot more of the population he's got to worry about. We haven't seen her mum.
You said his mum.
Well, yeah, same thing. We haven't seen his mum.
No. I'm not saying ew because of his mum. I'm saying ew at incest.
She should fuck his mum.
You said he should fuck his mum.
No, I meant she. I said OP. OP should fuck his mum.
Okay, sorry. I misunderstood.
Another commenter, realize you are dealing with someone who convinced you to give up something to accommodate their needs. Now all he's doing is making sure his needs get met, and he doesn't care that getting his needs met affect your feelings. When you voice your concerns here, he labels you as being paranoid. This silences you because nobody wants to own an identity of being paranoid. Early on, you surrendered your male friend because you wanted to make your boyfriend feel secure. You took responsibility for your boyfriend's emotions. He refuses to acknowledge yours, much less take responsibility for how his behavior affects you. There's an imbalance here, and that's what you feel. I wouldn't trust him. His behavior reeks of selfishness and an inability to take responsibility for how his actions affect you. Realize he doesn't have any respect for your boundaries, but you also don't have to surrender them to appease him. Hope this helps. Hope you make it work.
Couple of things here. I just remembered part of the original post of he's being the cheater and cheatee. You got with somebody that is a habitual cheater. I hate to say it, but what did you think was going to happen?
That also ties in with addiction, like the impulsivity in behavior. It rarely sticks in one arena.
And sex addiction is a real thing. Going with the giving things up for partners. I don't know if I brought this up on the podcast before, but at one point in one of my previous relationships, I gave up something extremely important to a lot of white people.
Cheese.
Yes, because my ex...
Seriously, was it cheese?
Yes.
Like...
My ex was allergic to the specific kind of bacteria or fungus that makes cheese go from your milk curd to your cheese.
Oh, is this the one who found or came home early and you were eating cheese and she was really upset?
No. She was 100% understanding that as soon as she left, I was devouring as much cheese as physically possible. But it was one of my friends worked at our local Domino's, and he could tell as soon as she would leave. I wouldn't even have to call up. If I put in an order, because he was one of the delivery guys, and it showed up as a cheese pizza with stuffed crust and feta on top, he knew that my girlfriend had gone away and I was ordering pizza. Because cheese is fucking glorious and nobody should have to give that up. And it shows how great a boyfriend I am and or husband I am that I was willing to give up cheese for somebody.
Well, you stopped smoking for V.
Yeah, that was easier. I do not think I could give up cheese perpetually.
What was harder, the cheese, the smoking, or the energy drinks?
Energy drinks. Like, cheese is harder to take out of day-to-day life because so much shit has cheese in it.
All the good shit has cheese in it.
Yeah, most of the good shit has cheese in it.
All the good savoury stuff.
Yeah, and some of the good sweet stuff too. I like a good cheesecake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And ricotta is on a lot of sweet things as well, and that's kind of cheese. I actually told this today to somebody. I can't remember who. One of our first difficult situations between me and Courtney was I was a very big energy drink drinker when we met. I was drinking about 1 liter of the stuff a day, sometimes more. I gave it up, tried to go cold turkey the first time, and she found me throwing up on the bathroom floor.
To be fair, we both also had a chronic throat infection on top of that. So I feel like that exacerbated it.
I'm pretty sure my throat infection was caused by me throwing up so much. Caffeine addiction is a fucking bitch. And the problem is that most people, like when somebody's coming down from a caffeine addiction or a caffeine high, that's a proper caffeine high. And I'm not talking like I've had 2 cups of coffee and I need to come down and I've got a little bit of the shakes caffeine high. I'm talking about I've been downing Red Bull for the last 4 days and I haven't slept in 2 of them. I'm going to drop for about 72 hours.
Being an Australian who doesn't drink, I'm already an abomination, right? But being a teacher who doesn't drink coffee, I know teachers who physically cannot not drink caffeine. They have shit themselves on the job, okay? Like people are just like, oh, that's part of the job. It really is just triple play underwear. Just got to get through. Never have time to stop to pee, let alone having the Hershey squirts at work. It's just no one questions the caffeine.
Yeah. And because nobody questions the caffeine, when people are trying to get off of the caffeine, people don't take it seriously until somebody tells them the story that I've told now and I told earlier today to, I believe, Jono, about being in that situation. Because, hey, when people have been doing it for as long as I had with the quantities of caffeine in my system that I was getting, it is just as bad as somebody trying to come down from coke or meth or what have you, other kind of stimulants. What I'm saying is, if you are coming down from some kind of caffeine addiction and trying to get off of it but don't want to just like reduce, because that bitch does not work, go with green apples. Green apples have trace amounts of caffeine in it, and it's not enough that it's going to boost you up, but it's enough that it's going to get you off that bathroom floor.
And if you do have people that are dismissing just how hard it is to come off caffeine, suggest they give up coffee and see how quickly they make it clear that they could not do that.
Yeah, for full transparency, the average cup of home coffee has about a sixth of what's in a 500ml can of energy drink. No, it might be a sixth of the 250 mils. I can't remember which. But people that are coming off of energy drink, the people that grew up in our age range that were really on energy drinks, because most of the kids that I see with them, and fuck, I feel old saying that sentence, they have like a can a day. That's fucking nothing. I've had friends that had their stomach lining rupture because of energy drinks. I've had friends that had heart attacks or heart attack-like situations as teenagers because of the caffeine.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why Australia banned energy drinks in high schools when they first started coming out, because there were cases of kids having heart attacks.
It was not when they first started coming out.
No, as in when kids first started. It's, you know how like there was the prime wave where as soon as kids discovered it, like they were bringing them to school all the time. Like that's what I mean. Like when kids first started like bringing them to school and shit.
So when it got mainstreamed.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, I used to have the worst fucking diet, and that's saying something considering how bad it is now. Because my lunch at one point was a can of Original Mother, because I like bitterer flavors. More bitter flavors. And also a can of Corinthians.
I understand.
That was my entire lunch. When I was on the smoking and drinking energy drinks, I was at uni one day, and my math lecturer, who is an absolute legend, he's a musician, his name's Dave Thompson, check him out. He saw me out the front of his lecture hall eating a sausage roll. It was I'm holding something with this hand, which was my can of Red Bull. I was holding a smoke in my fingers, and I had a sausage roll. And he's like, breakfast of champions? I'm like...
That sounds like a tradie on Smoko.
He was a muser.
Okay, so Monster Energy versus other energy drinks. So a regular coffee, around 240 ml, contains anywhere between 80 and 100 milligrams of caffeine. Our standard Red Bull can has 80. Monster and Rockstar have 160. So close to double. Though the Rockstar and the Monster are the 473 ml cans.
Is this powdered or going to a cafe and getting it though? Because I'm pretty sure the powdered has less than what you get if you go to get a coffee, like a barista made coffee.
As in like beans versus instant.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that beans end up with more caffeine coming out than instant does. I could be wrong. With energy drinks, it's also not just the caffeine that fucks you up, because
instant has more.
Instant has more? Fair enough. Because you've also got most energy drinks, caffeine isn't your active stimulant that's in it. It's either taurine or it's ginseng. V and your sweeter drinks, I think Monster as well, use ginseng, which is a lot more natural a way to get it, because ginseng is a natural stimulant. You can actually get like powdered ginseng, which people put into like protein shakes and stuff like that. And Red Bull, Mother, and other drinks along that line, and you can tell by the taste of them, use taurine, which is synthesized chemical that was originally derived from the stomach lining of cows. That's why it's taurine. It's also why Red Bull uses taurine, because they're all connecting to each other.
Brain power, helping you buy better. Sorry, I can do better than that. Brand power, helping you buy better.
Gives you wings.
Yeah, so this one's a mess. Like in general, if you are going through any form of treatment, rehab, things like that, like it tells you as part of the programming that you shouldn't be in a relationship anyway within like that first 12 months.
No, you shouldn't be starting a relationship. If you were already in a relationship, then that is fine, because it is part of a support network. You shouldn't be trying to make new connections during the first 12 months. Because otherwise, anyone that goes to AA would have to go for a divorce.
I feel like if anything, it's romantic relationships specifically. Like you should be making new connections
Yeah.
by ways of furthering support network, volunteering,
Yes,
workplace training,
100%.
etc. No new relationships, definitely not. But even then, if you are married, you do need to step back because you physically do not have the capacity to be giving the emotional and time resources to a person in order to maintain that relationship and also have those same mental and physical resources that you need to overcome the addiction. It is a time when you do need to be wholly and solely selfish. So when you come back, you are recovered enough to continue that relationship. It's not like a getting divorced type of situation, but there very much does need to be some sort of distance there.
I disagree.
Otherwise, it develops a codependence where it's like, my sobriety is dependent on maintaining this relationship, and that's the danger.
I disagree. I believe you do need to be selfish. I don't believe you need to back away. Because backing away, especially if it's been a very long-term relationship, will only put extra pressure on yourself. A lot of people that are going through it are terrified about losing the people around them. And if they're feeling like they're going to lose their partner, then backing away is only going to make that harder on them. It's a situation of, I am going to need to, in a lot of ways, rely on my partner in this situation, because this isn't a codependent situation. This is a currently dependent situation. And also, most marriages are at least some level codependent, if not
There's a
actually
difference
dependent.
between codependence versus interdependence. I rely on you as use for stuff. Like you fill my skills gap, I fill yours,
Yes.
so we can have a fulfilling life.
But there are
The
also
codependence in the I can't functionally exist without you, that's the danger. And like, especially if there's like kids involved, whatever struggle you're going through, it's got to be you. You've got to be the one that picks yourself up, because otherwise you are going to lose us. If us maintaining the dynamic that we have, if you're going to feel all of that pressure to the point where it cracks you and you can't get through it, that's only delaying the inevitable then.
I feel like I'd bring it back to my sister and her ex. Her ex was working a just generic general hospo job, wanted to do their apprenticeship. My sister supported them while they were going through their apprenticeship. And during that time, a lot more fell on my sister's shoulders. I think of it in that way. I think of it as hey, I've got to shift some of this other stuff onto you so
Yeah.
that I can be able to do this.
Yeah, you need to slow down, so I need to speed up.
Yeah. I don't see that as a backing off of the relationship. If anything, it's I need to be able to work on me so I can work on us, so we can work on everything.
Yeah.
And that doesn't require backing off on the relationship as a whole. It just requires on this part. I need you to be able to take this 10% so that I have freed up extra resources to get through not thinking about this.
Yeah. But I would also describe that as interdependence rather than codependence. And even in that example, I would also expect that there would have been an alteration in the dynamic for that period where the romantic aspects of the relationship would had to have been put on hold. The sort of the cognitive and emotional resources that it takes to be like studying and undergoing exams and that kind of thing does mean you're likely going to be having fewer date nights and not because like you're planning all of the cognitive skills and like planning and organizing and stuff. It's being redirected to what the key focus is. It's not just a redistribution of household tasks and management and whatnot, but the entire relationship as a whole would have essentially meant, oh, well, we don't have the same time and energy for each other right now because they've got to focus on what they're doing, and then I've got to be picking up the slack, as it were. And so right now we've kind of got to maintain our own separate arenas until we can come back together.
Yes, but even going with the example you just gave, if it's usually him that's organizing the date nights, then you can still be able to have that level of thing. It's just hey, instead of him organizing it, she's going to organize it. You can still be able to do the things, you can still be able to do the actual event, just with the other person being able to organize it allows for the cognitive strain to be taken off of the person that's trying to recover.
Yes, but the emotional investment in staying present in things like date nights is in and of itself cognitive effort.
Yes.
So it's like if you're both in a place where, fuck, we're in a restaurant, there's alcohol here, that's not going to feel like a date night. And with her, it's this is, probably really stressful. I wonder if he's doing okay. I wonder if there's things he's not telling me, like all of that. It's, there's things at home that I need to manage, and I should probably check his hiding spots, like that kind of stuff. It's all already, it's not a romantic experience of a date night.
No,
Because it requires a
that's
certain level of...
because yes, but you're also thinking of it in a very poor way for people that are in that situation. Because if somebody was in a recovering situation, date night wouldn't be to a restaurant. Date night would be to the movies, where we can be in a situation where we can still be romantic, we can still be with each other, but there's no alcohol here. It could be a date day, and instead of going out to dinner, we're now having a picnic in a park. There are plenty of ways to be able to still be able to be romantic and take into consideration the issues that we're having.
I think those descriptions are, great ways to remain connected. But I feel like the romantic aspects of those relationships are very specific, that simply can be separate from a relationship as a whole.
Yes, but if they're done as part of a relationship, they can still be romantic. That even looking in pop culture, the date in the park is rather constantly used as a romantic date.
Yeah.
It's more cute romantic and less sultry romantic.
Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is it's just how romantic is it going to feel knowing everything that's going on. It's like that is until you feel like you are in some sort of place of stability, which is why that kind of 12-month period is there. It's well, when is the next relapse coming? Like that constant worry and concern is there. So it's like you've got to take that initial 12 months to make sure that when you are attempting to engage in the full dynamics of a relationship, that you're ready for it.
And I understand that for going into new relationships, but having to break all of the current plans and current systems that a relationship has, if it's in a long-term relationship, ours wouldn't be any issue because we don't really go on date nights and our things are very self-contained. But I also know a lot of people would, if they were going through something like that and it had to completely change everything their household was doing, that would fuck them up worse. So being able
Maybe
to have some
so.
level of consistency and just, hey, we're just going to change how our structure works rather than completely changing the structure would be a lot better for them, and also allow them to keep them doing things that'll also help them with this sobriety.
But that's also the issue with creating a codependence. Like if you can only maintain your sobriety because you've got the structure of that relationship, that defeats the purpose of not developing a codependence, right? Like you and me, our situation was very, very different. Like we're talking about people here who already have to upload their entire life because they've got to do a stint in rehab first, where when they come out, like, yes, that structure and stability may provide a safe place where they can get in the best possible headspace for attempting to tackle the sobriety. But very often when it comes to addiction, all that's doing is enabling the cycle. Whereas with us, there was distance that was created. When I found those energy drinks that you were hiding in the garage when you relapsed, I just said, this choice is yours. I can't engage in it again.
Hmm?
And I left that to you. We never discussed it again. You made your own choices. I went about my life how I needed to, and just you had to come to that on your own. I supported you in zero ways when it came to that.
Yes, but that was also keeping to consistency. So things
I support him in zero ways.
no, it was keeping consistency as life didn't change. When I did get off caffeine, small things did change around here. Like it would be different if you were still having energy drinks, but I wasn't able to do it anymore. We've had people come through our house, like Nate, who I've had to have conversations with in the past of, I can't have you leave your energy drinks in my fridge because I will drink them. Mind you, Nate gets fucking terrible flavors of energy drinks, but I would still drink them.
Because that's how addiction works. You are pulling, wet cigarette butts out of beer cans. Like,
that same ex that I was talking about before with cheese, her family are compulsive pokie players. And I also have, in the past, had a gambling addiction because addiction doesn't stop at one thing, guys. She was well aware of that, but because her family, after a dinner, would go and sit there slapping the pokies, that's what they gave me $5 to do it. And I'm like, I would rather just sit here on my phone. And they're like, no, this is what we do. We need you to do it with us because otherwise you're not one of us. I'm like,
I'm comfortable not being one of you.
I was not. I was not comfortable with the amount of social pressure that was put on me in that situation. So I went in, I put their $5 through, I won $10 because I've always been extremely lucky with these things. For the record, I was a gambling addict that walked away every time I played with more money than I walked in with. I stopped because I realized how dangerous the situation could be, because anytime I went out, I would go and I would play video roulette because that's where we pre-drank at. And I would walk out with enough money to pay for my entire night and most of my friends' nights. But I also knew that, hey, I am only one bad stint away from losing every bit of money that's in my wallet. And that's not something you really want to be going through your head.
And that's the way you manage a gambling addiction without losing any money. Being super into math and truly understanding the odds.
Yeah, plus, in Australia at the very least, the biggest gambling addiction is pokies. Pokies are so fucking boring because it is just randomized numbers, but you never know what those randomization is. You have no proof that there's any actual numbers apart from, hey, we've made this much money.
All algorithms.
Yeah, we've made this much money, so we can allow them to win now.
Yeah.
And I don't fuck with that because I do like to know the odds. I know that if I put my money on a number on a roulette table, I have a 1 in 38 chance of winning. I get paid out 36 times whatever I put my number on. I also know that the best chances that you can have is actually a 2 in 3 chances of winning, or slightly less than. It's 24 in 38 chance. And that's what I used to do because it gives a low risk, low reward. But I also knew, hey, I'm doing video roulette and it has the same mentality as the pokies. So I would look at what other people were betting on, and I know that my little reward is going to get me paid out more likely than that guy that keeps on putting it in the same cluster, than that guy that's sitting over there in the same video roulette as me, who puts it in the same cluster of numbers every time. So if I bet away from his cluster, I'm going to win so much more than he is because his cluster pays out so much better than mine does.
I don't know, I don't understand any of that, but I trust you.
If I get paid 3 times and that guy's going to get paid 36 times, the algorithm is going to put the number away from what he's getting. And if my numbers are the ones that are in that catchment, I'm more likely to win because I will get paid out less, and those machines are set to pay out the less option. So find a big fish if you're going to do video roulette, sit next to them, bet against them. You'll be so much more likely to get paid out.
Let's not give gambling a pass. Outside of avoiding the pokies.
And if you're playing poker with your friends, don't count cards.
Why not?
Because you're playing poker with your friends. If you're playing poker with your friends, you're just playing casual, chill-out poker.
Okay, but we could be playing, or Monopoly, and I'm still going to lead to the table being flipped at the end of the day, no matter who they are.
Yes.
And a friendship with a draw 4.
Yes, but you're not cheating. If you're counting cards, you are effectively cheating.
Okay, but can you play poker at all without counting? And I mean, can you turn your brain off?
Yes, 100%. Counting cards is an active thing. Like, I can look at a board state and see, hey, this is what I have on hand. This is what could happen. Same with Magic the Gathering. That's how I'm good at Magic, because I understand what could potentially happen and what my odds are of getting something out of the deck with what I can see currently. It's the ADHD blessing for me. I am going to erase object permanence because I can keep that count going in the back of my head, or I can pretend that every other thing that's come before this doesn't exist anymore. So I only care about what I can see.
Shake your head like a little Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah, more or less.
But Too Long Didn't Read. This guy is not fit for human consumption. He's a failed beta test. He needs to go back to the drawing board, needs to get the bugs worked out, needs to get some new coding. And when he's done the work, then who knows? Maybe he will be able to have some sort of healthy relationship. But whatever the fuck is going on here, it just isn't one.
No, send him back to the psych chair.
We are going to finish off with a pick your poison. Pick your poison, 2 terrible options. Which one will Ben curse us with?
Number 2.
Okay. The first was I asked my wife why she won't post our newborn and me on her Insta, and it nuked our relationship. The second one is how to help my wife smell better.
Still sticking with number 2. Also, number 1 is fine as long as she's also not posting herself with the newborn.
How to help my wife smell better. From r/marriage, and the user has deleted their entire profile.
Get her to blow her nose, then she'll be able to smell better.
I'm not trying to sound mean, but maybe some ladies here can help a husband out. Maybe I do not know enough, and that's probably true. Listen, I'm not trying to hate, but she wants me to go down on her more, but it's almost repulsive. And I remember sleeping with a lot of chicks in high school, and most smelling incredibly fresh and attractive. What could I recommend she starts using to help? She would kill me if she knew I posted this.
Stop sleeping with girls in high school.
Yeah, step 1, if it's like a bacterial vaginosis like thrush issue, more than likely it's you. We have studies coming out, quite literally as we speak, that pretty much it's bad junk hygiene that's causing a significant amount of the bacterial vaginosis and thrush infections that are happening in vaginas. So if it's being caused by that, you could potentially improve her health and hygiene by making sure yours is in top shape. Now, if that's not a factor, it could be things like potentially perimenopause, hormonal shifts are causing different like pH changes down there that aren't meant to be a thing. She could be using products down there that are not meant to go down there, and that's causing something. In general, she should see a fucking doctor because it's not meant to smell like anything. So if it does have some sort of smell, it's either diet related, hormone imbalance related,
Or
like
dick related.
or like vitamin issue related.
That would
or
be diet.
Yeah, I mean things like when you do have vitamin either deficiencies or an overabundance of it, it will like shift the pH and fuck you up.
To be fair, this guy isn't saying, hey, I need to find a way to stop my wife from smelling. He's realistically just looking for the civil way to tell his wife that she smells.
No, it says, what could I recommend she starts using to help?
Ah, fair enough.
So
Sorry.
is a doctor.
Yeah.
A doctor is what she starts
Look,
using to help. But again,
the first
you could
part
just
of it is
give your own hygiene a go and see if that helps.
well, do both. Don't even recommend doctors to start with. Just have a conversation with your wife, because she's not going to be able to smell her own badge unless it gets really bad. Chances are not really a thing that will happen. But as somebody that is going to be down there more often than your wife is, unless she's a contortionist, you're going to have to be the one that has the conversation with them. This is the same, think of it as the same mentality of, hey, I grabbed your boob the other day and I felt a lump. This could very well be a medical thing. It could be a both sides of hygiene thing, or there is a small possibility, it is also just a her hygiene thing. Wash your own junk, talk to your wife about it, because if you don't talk to your wife about problems, they're never going to get solved either way. Past that, as I'm going to represent all of the husbands here and shut the fuck up about what could be making a wife's vagina smell, because I know nothing.
But we've just discussed it.
I know, and you have given all of the good reasons, all the reasons why it could be happening. I'm going to defer to the experts in the field, being the people with the anatomy. All a guy can do is give suggestions hey, you need to have the conversation. Outside of that, you can ask people for suggestions for it. It's going to go down a lot better. Pun
Literally.
Completely not intended. It's going to go down a lot better if that is the start of this and you don't start recommending options straight away.
Yeah, don't be like, have you tried Vagisil? Like,
yeah. Have you tried a doctor? Have you tried douching more often? Have you tried this, that, or the other? That is what the guys in the situation should be doing. We should be informing, but not trying to tell. Well, not trying to tell women what they should be doing to try and fix it. Chances are that if she has had this kind of thing happen before, she's going to already know how to take care of it, or potentially she could look into it. But also, this is going to be an embarrassing enough situation for his wife just being told this.
Yeah.
If
Try some like incognito shit first. So like again, washing your own junk, seeing if that helps things, because it literally might be you passing something on to her. And then it's see whether or not it is a hygiene issue by like starting something in the shower, like finger her in the shower a little bit before you then take it to the bed. And then if you're noticing a difference, then that's a sign it's a hygiene issue.
still have the conversation with her.
Yeah.
Because if you are just, hey, if you start everything in the shower, there's going to be somebody else putting up a Reddit post saying, hey, my husband won't touch me unless we start off in the shower.
I mean, that's fine. So I like being super clean before sex.
I know, but that could make a lot of women self-conscious. That could make a lot of people self-conscious.
Honestly, they should be like clean.
I know, but if it is a medical thing or if it is he's passing something over,
well, then being hygienic would help nail down those options. Like you are more likely to know that, oh, my hygiene is on point, therefore I should probably go and do further investigations.
yes, have the initial awkward conversation of, hey, something's going on. I'm uncomfortable about this. You're uncomfortable about this now. But this is something we need to address before moving forward.
Yeah, especially we're talking like a marriage of many years here. Like, yeah. I'm sorry, if you've had to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning because one of your kids had a poop explosion and now you've got to like clean an entire bedroom from top to bottom before anyone can go to bed, like surely this is a conversation you can have. You've been in the trenches, man.
Yeah. Though I feel like most guys would rather go through those trenches than tell them their wife's vag was smelling. Sorry, tell their wives that their vag was smelling.
I don't know. I'd be pissed off if you didn't.
Yes, I would. But also I know a lot of guys just don't want to encroach on that touchy subject.
I feel like that's a major problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same reason why you end up with dudes iffy about periods and shit. It's like if you just had these conversations and understood how those things worked, this wouldn't be such an issue.
Yeah, I've been in a classroom where a student was apologizing to me because they had to talk to their teacher about how their period was going because they'd been having issues because of pills and whatnot. By the time we were finished having the conversation, the teacher was irked, but the student was really surprised and appreciative because I'm like, I have a wife and a daughter. I know enough to get me through situations because I've grown up around women in my life. And also, periods are a thing that happens. Who the fuck cares? I didn't use those words because that would be understandable if the teacher was irked at me saying, who the fuck cares? But again, it happens. Who the fuck cares?
No, top comments. Go to the doctor first. OP responds, she says all women have their distinct smell and this is hers.
Wait, his wife's saying that?
Yeah. Okay, so they've had a conversation and that was her response. Okay.
Tell her that you're uncomfortable going down on her because the smell is grossing you out.
I can't imagine my husband saying my snatch smells and me being like, that's just my aroma. Like,
you know, genuinely, like I am all for reciprocity. Is that the right word? Reciprocating? Reciprocity?
Those are both words, yes.
Yeah.
In relation to what?
I'm all...
Reciprocity as in giving back what you give. Yes? Okay.
Yes. Reciprocity. I'm all for reciprocity. If my junk was sinking, I would never expect my wife to go anywhere near it. And I feel like you should be well within your rights to tell her, hey, if I'm going to be around something that stinks this bad, I am not going to be putting my nose anywhere near it. Because that is something that's going to make you uncomfortable. And more than likely, that's going to turn you right off. So valid to not want to go near it.
Yeah. And even if, I mean, that's...
It's different, however,
like,
if you're...
That is absolutely going to hurt her feelings. But at the same time, like, even standard aromas, people like the smell of peppermint. Some peppermint makes some people feel sick to their stomach. So even if she is saying, well, that's just my aroma, then it's well, I'm sorry, but that smell is so strong that if that's the case, it's literally turning my stomach. Like it is not a good smell to me. And therefore, like as soon as you are smelling something that you don't consider to be a neutral or a good smell, that's automatically going to be impacting your sexual desire. Even if it's probably going to hurt her feelings, obviously, if you were to raise it that way. But that is just 2 + 2 = 4 here. I'm sorry, if that's your aroma, it does not smell good to me. so I won't be going down on you, as it's just going to completely kill all sexual desire.
Plus, your body is designed to not want to go around things that are going to make you sick. You are going to recoil every time that smell comes near you. And if your wife sees you doing that every time you try and go down on her, that's going to kill her mood.
Yeah, it's going to create an even worse complex.
Yeah. So if you've already had this conversation, tell your wife, hey, I'm not going down. If she decides, hey, I'm not going down either, fair cop. But also, that's one time that you're going to have to put your foot down on, hey, I'm not doing something that's going to make me actively feel like I'm going to throw up.
I feel like that's kind of that. I shouldn't have said, like, turn your stomach. Like, that's probably...
I'm pretty sure that was the quote from it.
No, that's what I said.
Okay.
Don't specifically describe it as a bad smell. Just describe it as not a good one. And so that may be your aroma, but it is very much not enticing to you at all, and it's putting you off. Next comment. She does know that her aroma shouldn't be rotting fish carcass, right? The vag isn't supposed to smell bad at all. I literally was just in this situation with my own husband. I had BV before, and a few weeks ago he was like, hey, so there's this smell like when you had BV before. And I immediately went to the doctor, got antibiotics, and did the full round. Everything's good now, and I'll be taking my probiotics regularly again.
Yeah, if something's smelling like bad clam chowder, pun entirely intended, that's not how things should be. It goes both ways. If your dick is stinking, that also isn't how that should be.
Especially because, like, smells can be a sign for so many things.
Yeah.
So it's like if I smell something and I'm the one that's around your dick and you're not around your dick that close enough to be able to smell it, if I don't tell you something and it's something bad, like, your dick could fall off. I don't want your dick to fall off.
But also, her saying it's just my aroma makes it sound like she can smell it. And if she can smell it from up there, that's an issue.
Either that, or it's because she specifically can't really smell anything. She's just assuming, well, that's my aroma.
Either that, or she's had people tell her this before.
That's even more concerning. But if, like, they've been married for a while, like...
Okay, so it's only started to smell.
Yeah. I feel like this would have been going... He wouldn't have just randomly started talking about it now. Or he would have said, like, it's been like this our entire marriage. Now, the comment, suggested a doctor above, but he deflected. OP responds, I'm willing to bring it up, but I'm wondering about all the options. I already know seeing a gyno may be the way to go. Doctor first, now the other options. This is a new commenter. I have had BV and it's a fucking bitch and absolutely makes your kitty stink to high heaven. You have to rule stuff like that out first. If she has it, no amount of personal cleansing will help. She needs antibiotics. What other kind of options are you hoping to hear? There's no open sesame and smell nice for me magic sentence that everyone is hiding from you.
That's a solid fucking line.
Unfortunately, like, there is no way to get around it. I think you need to see a doctor because it's not a good smell. So if that is your aroma, there could be something genuinely going on there that you've just gotten so used to that it doesn't stand out to you. It's going to obviously be an awkward situation there, but knowing is better than not. Being autistic, my interoception is not great. Like, if I get a sore in my stomach, I'm like, okay, am I getting sick? Am I about to throw up? Have I literally just bruised myself, or do I need to shit? Like, there is literally no way for me to tell the difference. It all just feels the same to me. Like, I will start getting the shakes and my body will interpret that as me getting sick. And so I'll start to feel nauseous, even though I'm just shivering because it's cold. And I can't tell the difference. So if it's something where she's just physically not able to notice it on the same level you are, and hell, maybe you go and get like an immunology panel and it just turns out you literally have like 2 similar pheromone panels and her vag is literally
a DNA test to see how far you are.
Yeah, your pheromone panels are just too similar because your immune systems are too close together, where her vag is literally like putting you off.
Yeah, but I feel like that would have happened a lot earlier in the marriage if that was the case.
Fair point.
Yeah. Alternatively, and this popped into my head and made me feel like I'm an asshole, but it needs to come out.
Yeah, but that's why we're here.
Next time you're fooling around with them, if it is a case of she's too far removed from the situation, get her to smell it. Like, you have the ability to get some level of the secretions of your wife. Get her to smell your finger. Like, it's a gross thing to say, but like, if she can't tell what you're talking about, you can gather up some of what is down there, bring it up to her nose, and she will definitely be able to tell what you're talking about then. I know, but also could be helpful in this situation.
Yeah, there's a suggestions here. She may have vaginosis that she's simply become accustomed to. Feed her strawberries and pineapple by the bucketful and observe if there are any changes in smell when she eats but certain things.
That goes for both genders. If your guy's junk tastes gross, feed him so much fruit, it will make everything taste better, or so I've heard.
That is the next comment. Absolute truth here. I started downing pineapple and pineapple juice plus kiwi and strawberry. Within a few weeks, my wife told me she liked the taste of my cum. Before, that was definitely not her response.
Eat more fructose. Poor Catherine.
Jonathan, report to the fruit and vegetable section.
No!
No update there. So we don't know if he's alive or not, or if her bacterial vaginosis eventually ate her from the inside out. Here's to hoping they're okay. They got some probiotics or some pineapple at least.
Yeah, this was a really fishy way to end things.
I'm fucking melting in here. I literally got up to turn on the air conditioner higher, and I feel like it has done nothing.
I'm good. But I'm also not in a fluffy onesie.
Yes, Dipsy is keeping me quite warm. I'm also covered in chocolate. Oh, thanks so much for joining us in the Naughty Corner. We'll see you next time.
I'll see you real soon.
Are you talking to a pineapple? We actually have pineapple in the fridge.
Oh. Who lives on a pineapple under the sea?